All right. Again, we get to start the kind of normal week practice today. This would be equivalent to a Wednesday practice back home. So look forward to that. With that, time's yours. Where are we at? Okay. I'm going to follow him.
Hello, good morning, Coach Reid.
Morning.
You have the opportunity of being on the ultra-modern facilities of the Las Vegas Raiders. Is it the best condition you ever had to prepare for a Super Bowl?
I would say yes. I think I understood the question. Preparation for this? Yeah, so it's great conditions to prepare for this game. I think our guys have been focused in up to this point, so and the facilities are great.
Right here to the left.
Okay.
Hey, Andy. At this point, hey, right here.
Okay, good.
At this point, Andy, where do you feel like Travis stands among the greatest tight ends in the history of the game? And do you think being the best ever at his position is something that motivates him?
Yeah, so I think all these guys want to do the best they possibly can and to play the best they possibly can. And then I'd tell you Travis's numbers probably stand up for themselves. I would tell you that he has an opportunity to go down as one of the best, if not the best, tight ends to play. Does he spend a ton of time worrying about that? I don't think he does. Every game he goes, let's just go win. I mean, that's kind of his thinking. And however, he's competitive, and during crunch time, he's going to be there for you, and want the ball to help out the team. Yeah. Yep, gotcha.
Andy, there's been a lot of teams in various sports in your position where players have talked about just it's so taxing to be in this championship or bust mode year after year after year mentally. How do you make sure that there's still joy for your players in the day-to-day and it doesn't become a thing where it's just trying to have the relief of winning?
Yeah, listen, we try to have fun within the intensity of the game during the week. There's a time to focus in and a time to mess around, and they don't have to come in where they feel they're uptight into practice. I think some of that is we keep it relatively consistent so they know what they're coming into every day. The times are the same. They know the drill that's coming up. They know when they can focus and need to focus, and then they can also know when they can mess around and goof around with each other and kind of let their personality show.
We'll go back to back. Right?
Coach, in the fall of 22, Todd Pinkston was coaching in high school, and now he's your running backs coach. What do you think he has brought to the running backs room, and was his background as a receiver helpful for guys like Isaiah Pacheco coming out of the backfield?
Yeah, I think that does help. As far as knowing how to run routes, they had Greg Lewis last year, so he was in that same, he kind of came up through that same way. Todd and Greg were different personality-wise, but their fundamentals were the same, and I think that's healthy for the running backs. Porter Ellett also works in there with Todd, and so he could kind of carry over some of the things that we had last year, and we're doing there with EB's influence and with Greg's. So I think all of that helped Todd. However, Todd came with he's always been, and I saw this when he was a player, he was willing to teach the young guys that were coming up below him, the wide receiver position. And he just had a good way about him with that. And I always thought, man, he'd be like a really good football coach if he ever chose to go that route. And then he did at the high school level. He's got a son that's a phenomenal player that's coming up through end up going to college here, I believe, next year. But anyways, he's a good teacher. Yeah.
And staying on the topic of assistant coaches and moving up through the ranks, how much is being in the Super Bowl year after year affected this, just coaches not being able to do that on your staff?
Say that one more time.
Well, just
that was,
with your
yeah.
season going so long,
Yeah.
Yeah. How much is that a circumstance of coaches not being able to move up and out?
Yeah. So I want to give them all an opportunity to continue to grow, whether it's on our staff or somewhere else. So sometimes when the season does go a little bit longer like this, the other spots get filled up on other teams, which allows us to have continuity. And continuity is great. I mean, it's great for me, but from a selfish standpoint and for the team. But at the same time, I like to promote guys to have an opportunity to do this thing. Sometimes this coaching can be short-lived in one spot. It's sometimes short-lived in the National Football League. So if you have an opportunity to move up, I think that's a positive thing.
Coach Reid, Patrick Mahomes up for Man of the Year. What do you see from a guy who's able to do so much in the Kansas City community, family man, do the commercials, lead a team to the Super Bowl, and do it all with a passion?
Yeah, he'd have my vote. He's a great one that way. Always willing to give back time. I mean, there's only so much time in a day. He's going to exhaust that. He's great with kids. He's great with his own kids. He's great with kids, period. And he's a good dad and husband. So that makes him a pretty good man.
Coach, Contessa
Yes.
Brewer with CNBC. Nice to see
Hi.
you.
Yes.
Can you give me a sense of the kind of conversations that you've had with your team and your staff around gambling ahead of the game in Las Vegas?
Yeah, so the league does a great job of that, of talking to our guys. So we had the league security rep come in and talk to the guys right when we got here. I mean, literally when we got here. And that was part of the conversation that was gambling. So he made it very clear, reinstating the rules and regulations and temptations here, obviously, in Las Vegas. So that was addressed, yes.
Andy, over here.
Yep.
Morning, Andy.
All right, Adam.
Good, thanks. Eric Bieniemy, have you had a chance to talk to him by chance? And what do you think his coaching future is? And I'll have a second one as well.
I did. He actually came in and talked to our team before our last game. So he talked to the offensive guys and hung out with us in our meetings. So I have had a chance to talk to him. And he's still up for a couple jobs. Yeah.
What do you think his future is in coaching? And would there be a spot on your staff if it doesn't work out for him somewhere else?
Yeah, I can't answer the last part because I have no spots right now. But I would tell you, I think his coaching future is great. I mean, I'm obviously a big fan of his, and I know the things that he can do.
Hey, Andy, Steve White's
Steve.
over here a little bit to your left.
All right, Steve, there you are.
How's everything
Nice.
going?
Nice, good.
Hey, playing a team like San Francisco that does so much out of the slot in that area defensively, what does Trent McDuffie add to the defense to be able to kind of combat some of the things that they like to do?
Yeah, so the 49ers have an offense that has a lot of talent, a lot of guys that can do a lot of things. And so you need flexibility within your secondary linebacker positions. Trent gives us that. He can play the inside slot position. He can really play anywhere in the secondary. I mean, whether it's safety, corner. I mean, he is one of our starting corners, but he moves all over the place. He can match up guys. So he's special that way. Yeah.
Andy, could you tell us a little bit about why screen passes play such a vital role in your offense and what the qualities are in your personnel that make it effective?
Yeah, so when you throw the football, there as much as teams do in this league and as much as we do, screen pass helps counter that rush coming. If a team is willing to push the quarterback up the field and rush the passer, this gives you an opportunity to check it down, get the big guys out there, and in a blocking position. So it's really just to counter the pass for you.
Hey, Andy. Chris Persianen here
Hey,
with
Chris.
WFUV from Fordham. You guys had your chairman and CEO, Clark Hunt, go on Good Morning Football this morning, and he talked about how he had some conversations with you this season. You said, we're just a play or two away from turning this thing around, and he singled you out as kind of being the most optimistic, the most bullish on this group. What did you see in this group that made you so confident?
Yeah, well, I felt that way. We had some drops, and that's really where it was related. And we were getting better, but we were a play away. And for that catch, and it seemed like it came down to that catch 3 or 4 games. And it was, in some cases, it was guys that I'd seen make the play before that weren't doing it at that particular time, but I know they had the potential to make it. So those guys ended up picking it up, doing well here, this stretch here. And then we had a young guy, Rice, who Rasheed, game was getting better every week. And that's such a key ingredient when you have a Kelsey on the other side, that inside slot receiver. And so he kept getting better and better and better as we went along. And then he started making the play. And so he had that group of receivers making the play, and then Rasheed picking things up as a rookie rapidly. So it all worked out well, that way. Yes.
Hi, Andy.
Hi.
Heather Yako. Can you touch base on the importance of the initials NKH on the players' jerseys and the legacy that Norma Hunt leaves behind?
Yeah, she leaves a great legacy behind. I think this might be the first Super Bowl that she hasn't been here. Just that in itself is pretty spectacular. But her heart was the biggest thing. Great person. Yeah.
Good morning, Coach Reid. Dennis Freeman, newsforusonline.com. Coach, when you is there somebody that reminds, when you see Isaiah Pacheco run, is there somebody that, another running back in the past, that he reminds you of?
Yeah, he's a violent runner. I hate even mentioning this because he was a 49er, but Roger Craig was a violent runner. He was coming at you with knees, elbows, hips, everything coming at you at one time. And, they were built kind of the same way and ran with that violence. Yeah.
Andy in the back here, Aaron Ladd,
All right.
KSHB 41.
I know you're back there.
Somewhere, yeah, over here.
There we go. All right.
There we go. What did you all see from Nick Bolton when you drafted him? He had an up and down year this year with the injuries. What did you see from him this year development-wise?
Yeah, so Nick is kind of the key to that defense. He's stuck right there in the middle, so he's got to be the transmitter between the back end, the secondary, and the front end, the defensive line. He's able to communicate to both and do it accurately, which becomes important. And then he's really a great tackler. So you put that into the instinct category. He's got great instincts, and he's not the biggest guy, not the fastest guy, but he takes great angles to the ball. And then the place he's probably improved the most is in his pass coverage. He's really worked at that and gotten better every year with that, and has done a nice job this year. And he's done it with a cast on his hand here for about half the season, so he's worked through that part too.
Last one in the back.
Yep.
Hi, yes, I'm Robert Cobb from Inscriber Magazine. I have a question for you, Coach. What would you say is the biggest difference between this Niners team you're facing on Sunday versus the team that you faced 4 years ago?
Okay, do this. Just raise your hand. Where are you? Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
There's a light right there, man.
Sorry about
All
that.
right.
All right, I'll repeat the question.
Yeah, fire away.
Okay, I was asking, what would you say is the biggest difference between the Niners team you're facing on Sunday versus the team that you faced 4 years ago?
Yeah. Well, actually, there are quite a few of the same guys, but they played at a very high level then. I think they're even better now. So to answer your question, that what McCaffrey would be new, I'd say he's a pretty big ingredient. And the quarterback's new, and he's a heck of a football player. So, but the rest of the surrounding cast is very similar to what they had before.
All right, thank you.
Okay, good, thanks.